beer, sports. Join Sean and Brad as they talk about sports and share a beer. From the east coast of Canada to the west coast of the United States. Over to you, boys.
Everybody, what's up? What's good with you? Guys, Beer Sports coming with you. My name is Brad. I come from the greater Seattle area, specifically Whidbey Island. West Coast is the best coast. With me today, as always, Sean Valancourt from the T-Dot, the Toronto area. If you're not experienced, the six, Sean's got quite a collection of Maple Leaf jerseys, even though they're terrible. Sean, good morning.
Good morning. I don't know why that last moment dig had to come out there, but very well done, very well placed.
Last week we talked about, you were trying to tell me that Toronto was the best team in the league, and then how did their week go?
Yeah, they kind of had a bad week this week. I don't know. Yeah, they had a bad week this week. Yeah.
So are we in agreement that maybe I'm not terribly off?
You're allowed to. I mean, when you're making an omelet, you have to break a few eggs, right? So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
cool. I'm cool with it.
Man, hey, lots happening in the world of sports. One thing that I really think that we have to start getting back to, and we're going to talk about it because I know you guys are interested as well. UFC 269 on the docket today. We're going to be talking about that. We have Reid Homer coming on as one of our very important guests, our MMA strategist, our MMA reporter, ex-MMA fighter. So I'm looking forward to that.
The MMA aficionado.
Yes, I like it. We also are going to be.
We had to apologize to Reid just to get you to come on because you were so slanderous of him, but that's fine. Yeah, and shout out just to to Dalva Church. I think she brought up a good point yesterday about on our Facebook feed if hot dogs are a sandwich or not, but she didn't want to weigh in. Sean's still firmly in the put ketchup on a hot dog, it's not a sandwich.
Dude,
which feels weird to me because I feel like you put ketchup on sandwiches. So like, why? I don't understand why you wouldn't think a hot dog is a sandwich.
Who puts ketchup on sandwiches? Who does
you
that?
Probably do with your weird infatuation with ketchup.
I don't have a weird infatuation with ketchup.
You do.
I
Sean.
Don't like ketchup chips. I'm not like every Canadian.
You dip potato chips in ketchup though, right? Like the French fries. No, don't lie to us.
No. Well, sometimes, but. Mayo.
You dipped chips like potato chips in straight mayo?
Well, no, French fries.
Oh, yeah, that's different. I'm not talking about French fries. I'm talking about not like French fries. I'm talking about potato chips.
Why would I dip them in ketchup?
Why wouldn't you? It's delicious.
Oh my gosh! Listen, the Earl of Sandwich did not come out and say, "I like tubular meat." I've already made that point.
Well, I mean, by that, I guess, are we talking about is salami not available for sandwiches then either?
Salami is not tubular. What are you talking about?
It is too.
It's not a tube.
You ever bought a whole salami?
Yeah, I bought a whole salami, but still, when you do salami, it's not the. Is
it tubular or is it not tubular when you buy it?
You cut it up and you put it in there.
I know, but it's tubular when you buy it, right?
Are you taking a big hunk of salami and putting it between two pieces of bread and calling it a sandwich?
Reid, good morning.
Good morning.
Man.
Brad, you need to fire and hire a new booker.
Yeah.
Your guy's like, some days it's noon, some days it's 11 a.m. He doesn't tell me. He's like, you want to jump in the pod?
Yeah.
Sure.
I know. I'll start coordinating with you directly so we're on here.
Appreciate you.
I would like to know if you feel like it's the first of the month because I think that your hair leads me to feel like it's,
after what happened with 3-6 Mafia,
yeah,
and Bone Thugs, yeah.
Is that you citing support for one group over the other?
Yes, I love 3-6.
Yeah, I do. That was wild, right? I feel like Busy Bone did the move of all moves where you start a fight when you're losing just to try to get the momentum back.
Yeah, it's a hockey thing. Sean's had to watch the Maple Leafs do that forever.
Sean's not well versed in the verses, I don't think, because he doesn't, follow the Instagram live stuff like in hip hop like we do.
No,
if it had been,
he's not bad about it.
Like a verses of like Journey and Fleetwood Mac, he would be all over it. But
yeah,
since it was 3-6 Mafia and Bone Thugs and Harmony. Sean's firmly out. Plus, he was probably in bed already. So
hey, I like the Bone Thugs.
He's like, "What's a bone thug?"
No.
My day.
Is that a cut of meat? I don't think it belongs on a sandwich.
It was Molly Balls, MC Shand, and Furious Five. That's what we had right there. That was a versus. Who's this? Boner Thugs. Who is it?
Shout out the Bone Thugs from the Cleveland area. Yeah.
The Cleveland area, or how would it be?
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah.
We're gonna get into your. Never mind. We'll just leave that alone.
Big show. So I wanted to get into UFC 269, and what better guy to have?
Yes. The only way it's better is if it's 469, right? That's the only way. 269 is better than 169.
Yeah.
They're more experienced.
Yeah. So I figured to myself, who better to have on than my good buddy or Reid Homer, our good buddy, our good friend.
I'm the last person you want to talk UFC with these days. I'm enemy number one amongst all my friends.
Your enemy number one. Why is that?
Because I defend Dana White and the fighter salaries. You and I have gone through this as well.
Yeah.
We'll
we
talk
have
about a card.
Yeah. Here's the thing about that, though. If they want, never mind. I'll just be quiet.
No, Brad. You have professional sports organization history.
Well, if you just want more, if you want more money, then go fight somewhere that has more money. Like Dana White has the gold. So either you agree to that contract or you don't, and you do what Conor did, and you find a way around it. You do what Michael Bisping has done. You get in and be a good boy, like we see Forrest Griffin being right now.
Yep, that guy
you'll still make money. You may not make money in the fight game, but you're still making like in the actual fight. But you're making money based on the notoriety you're gaining from that platform. So,
it's also an organization with actual jobs and roles that give people like that. You don't see
and
that
juice
anywhere else. Yeah, exactly.
You really think that Conor didn't get a hookup with his little whiskey business by someone he met through Dana White?
Yeah, rich guy, rich friends.
Yeah,
crazy card.
This is a great card. This is better than most of the cards out there.
It's a bit of a disrespect though to Amanda Nunes, though, right?
Why would you say that?
That she's not headlining this thing?
She has two belts.
She is the baddest fighter on the planet.
I'll give you that. Anyways,
exactly.
this title fight, Oliveira Poirier. Did you see the weigh-ins yesterday? Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oliveira.
I knew you were watching because Sean O'Malley was in it, so I figured I should watch too, just to make sure we could talk about
it. Oliveira is all business, man. All business for this fight. He didn't have his fists up. He just wasn't backing down from Poirier. And I gotta wonder to myself, like, Poirier has had to fight Conor McGregor twice, and that's not competition going into a title fight. Just not. And now you got to fight a guy who had to fight Michael.
Hold on a second.
Go for it.
That's crazy.
Go for it.
No matter what, like, Conor McGregor has that left hand still. I don't care what kind of shape you're in. I don't care how jacked up your legs is. You're playing a very dangerous game with very real consequences anytime you step in the cage with Conor McGregor. That's competition, right? I get what you're saying, but there's this stress factor with Conor McGregor where he still touches people. There was the Khabib fight where you're like, oh shit, like he might get him, and then thankfully he didn't for Khabib, but that's still a thing. I just want to clear that up. Conor's still competitive.
It's the Chuck Liddell.
That Steiner punch.
Where like you just know that guy's got one shot stopping power.
He doesn't have to do what Nick Diaz and Nate Diaz does, where like you can see the progression where he's wearing you down. And again, I fucking can't stand Conor McGregor. And Sean, I align with your views on this, which is where I think you're going, where he's not really fight ready at this level. He's not prepared for this level. But what he does have is he has that Francis Ngannou, I could clip you with one punch and then you're done. You're a fucking highlight reel.
Well, before this, Poirier's last loss was to Khabib. Just because his last two fights were Conor doesn't mean that he hasn't fought real dudes on the way up.
Yeah, and again, it's important to note that when you're fighting a Conor McGregor, that's why he made it look so easy. Because he was he was putting everything he had into the goddamn thing, and it's
Yep.
So I just want to.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you had to fight this guy twice. That was a one and done. That was a one and done, and that's that.
It's a crime. It's a crime. Yeah.
And now you had to fight this guy twice. So how are you completely ready for this? How are you? I mean, you look at this guy. He had to fight McGregor twice within the past year. It's ridiculous. Meanwhile, you have a look at Charles Oliveira's last 5 fights. Okay, just last 3. So it was Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson, and Kevin Lee.
Yeah, well, one can make the argument that Kevin Lee's a bum. A lot of people are making that argument.
Tony Ferguson to me is not a bum.
No, he's crazy.
Since he tore that knee out,
he's over the hill a bit.
That knee out, he hasn't been great.
And I would argue you hate Michael Chandler, so actually, realistically, he just fought 3 bums.
Yeah, I would argue that Poirier is more ready for this fight because he hasn't taken so much damage in his last 2 fights.
Yeah,
you're discounting. He doesn't need the experience. He's got the experience, right? We know he has the physical tools. We know mentally he's locked in.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken much damage. He's been through 3 camps now with no damage.
Right.
Yeah. That's huge. That's when you're looking at like guys like Bisping and Diego Sanchez who were in Cowboy Cerrone who were no contact sparring. You know, we saw like the first couple of fights after they made that switch. It was huge. He got to do that while getting paid.
Yes. He's done that for a year, right? He's gone for a year with no damage. How fresh do you think he's going to be? And motivated. I don't think that it's as one-sided as you're making it out to be, Sean. That's all I'm saying.
I'm saying it's going to be interesting. And I'm just saying that really the champions got the advantage in this instance right now. But is he going to be complacent knowing he has to fight a guy like Poirier? Poirier, I think, psychologically probably came out of his best psychological state, having to fight McGregor twice and beating him twice. So yeah, I agree with that. But McGregor is just, I don't know, man. Like right now, we're already
a fucking billionaire.
People are already talking about UFC 271 because he's fighting Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler's trying to make a splashback because now all of a sudden he's lost 2 fights out of the 3 that he's appeared in UFC.
Stop being so mean to Chandler. He doesn't deserve it. He's like 36. Give him a break. Again, you're just making the point that you're like Chandler's a fucking bum. Yeah, and it's like, all right, so who's Oliveira fought then? I don't know what you're doing.
And then to say Oliveira might be complacent because he's fighting Poirier, like Poirier's not someone that's going to just come and take his belt. Like he got that belt because he's a champion. Like he's mentally tough. He's not going to come in here and be complacent and be like, oh, I'm fighting a guy who's not dangerous. If he feels that way, he hasn't watched any tape at all.
If Oliveira loses this fight, it's because Dustin beat him.
It's not going to the cards.
Oliveira is one of those guys where if he loses the fight, it's because he got beat. It's not
going to the cards, John. This isn't going to be a 5-round pin him and lay on him for 4 minutes of each round trying to get a win. Okay, I know that those are your favorite fights, but that's not what's going to happen in this fight.
This guy
Oliveira looks like a character from The Hills Have Eyes. You know what I mean? Like
he does.
He's terrifying.
But I mean, he is terrifying, and he could easily submit. Well, not easily, but he could submit Poirier. He could. There could be a submission coming here.
Of course, but Poirier's a black belt.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, you're not like it's hard to see that kind of shit with a couple of black belts going at it. You know what I mean? Like that's really, again, Oliveira might not even think twice about that. I just want to see Poirier finally, like, I want to see him get like almost rear naked choke and then finally have the Louisiana accent come out. He's like, oh, I say, oh, this fella back here trying to wring my neck. How dare he? I do declare. That would be great. But I don't think anyone's submitting anyone. Of course, Oliveira's gonna go out there and fucking triangle choke Poirier now because I've had that kind of season this year, predicting fights. But yeah, I mean, this is like I was looking at the little metrics here for this fight. Significant strikes landed per minute, 3.26 to Poirier's 5.62. Significant strikes thrown, 52% to 50%. So they both just throw heat. Absorbed per minute, Poirier's 4.19 to Charles's 3. Takedown defense, striking defense 53, 54. Like they're almost like mirror images of each other where everything else is split down the middle. And then it's like, oh, well, this guy, throws a little bit more and he kind of can block a little bit. So they kind of like negate each other along with. This is one of the most evenly matched in terms of by the tail of the tape by the numbers fights you're ever going to see. The two guys that are at their physical peaks, right? And it's a real goddamn treat. And thank God it's landing on 269. Because every time it's a 69, it's like it's gotta be good. 5'10" to 5'9".
It's gotta
40,
be nice.
74-inch reach to 72, 41-inch leg reach. 40. It's just like they're carbon copies of each other.
Right. Now
they're both from places where people are crazy and talk weird. Brazil and Louisiana.
All right. So we talked about this fight. Now let's get into the Nunes Pena.
Who's your pick?
For Nunes Pena?
No, who'd you pick for Oliveira and Poirier?
I'm going for Poirier, but I think Oliveira will win.
What the fuck kind of waffle pick was that?
Yeah. I'd like to see Poirier win. I think he deserves it. I just think Charles Oliveira is he's just going to pull it out. I don't know.
Pull it out? Okay. Brad, who are you picking?
Poirier. I can't believe Sean is on the fence again. If you just listen to what he just said, he picked both fighters.
He picked both fighters. That's why I was like, that's a waffle move.
All right, if you want me down for what? Let's go Oliveira.
Okay, because I don't want to hear any bullshit where it's like, right. Well, I did say I was rooting for Poirier.
No. I'm picking Oliveira. I am rooting for Poirier, but I am picking Oliveira to win.
I think who's going to win the fight?
Oliveira.
Okay, I'm taking Poirier as well.
All right. There we go.
I think he's going to go in there and do the damn thing.
All right, Nunes Pena. Does this fight even register? I think this is why it's not the main event there, right there, Reid. That's why it's not the main event. Is because they can't put anybody in front of Amanda Nunes. That's going to draw main event stuff. How can you sit there and just say this is a main event when the person's going to clobber them?
Listen, all right. So the co-main versus the main event, right? Frankly, the co-main should be the bigger fight, right? The more interesting fight because it's a little earlier in the night. Whoever's closing out the card, it's like, all right, yeah, it's a procedural thing. You know, we have a championship fight. By virtue of the fact that Amanda has all the goddamn belts she can touch, you know, I think that would make her 100% in that position. I think you're
defending all the belts she can touch, right?
Yeah, it's absurd. So that's I still stand by. Brad made the initial point. I still stand by that too because it's like whatever. Who cares if it's it's 1A 1B. It's not 1 and 2, co-main type thing. Frankly, again, everyone's drunk by the main event and not paying attention anyways.
I just think you respect the champion and the dominance that Nunes has had. Anyone else in that position would be headlining.
Yeah, again, Charles Oliveira and Dustin Poirier, neither of those guys are real big draws either, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Compared to McGregor, Nick Diaz, they're not up there. I don't know how much money these guys have made for the UFC. I'm looking at the picture here and I only see one belt of Oliveira. I only see one goddamn belt. If I was the layperson and I'd see Amanda Nunes has 19 belts across her wide ass shoulders, I'd be like, what's going on here?
I wish that Cyborg.
Yeah, Amanda by knockout.
Oh yeah, over Pena. Yeah.
Long story short.
Yeah, I'm there, and I wish that Cyborg got a rematch against Amanda. Maybe immediately after. It just shows the disrespect that they had for her, anyways. There, but I mean, good on Amanda. She knocked out the person that was considered to never be knocked out. But this is the same way that they're treating Stipe Miocic. The same way, it's the same way. It's the same.
Cyborg didn't deserve a second shot. She got worked.
She got worked.
She was pat. Come on.
She got worked because she never had to experience something like that before.
Yeah. Which means you're not the best, Sean.
There's
always your guy in your hometown who's really good at a sport, and then he goes to play at college and gets whipped and has to play special teams because he's not good. That's how it goes. Sometimes you can't level up. That's just
and honestly, and that's that dude's fault because I'm seeing it right now on Facebook with the wrestling programs here in Lowell. I saw a picture of two young heavyweights. One's got a Chelmsford jacket on, and he's watching his buddy, who's a heavyweight in Lowell, wrestle at a meet. They train in the off season together. And then they go to the next town over from there and train with those guys. You know what I mean? So they're elevating themselves. It's nobody's fault. It's not Amanda Nunes' fault that Cyborg hasn't faced a real challenge. It's Amanda Nunes hasn't faced anyone like Cyborg. You could say that 100% the other way. There's no one like Cyborg out there, not in the women's divisions at least. You know what I mean? Like there just isn't. Like she, that's not a weird Joe Rogan type joke against Cyborg. She is a physical specimen in women's MMA that I don't know if we'll ever see again until Nunes elevated that. I thought Cyborg was good like that. All right, that's it. She was made in the goddamn lab, and then Nunes came out. I'm like, well, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Seeing Nunes hold a baby is terrifying. I'm like, what the? It's crazy. It's like, how could someone so violent be so gentle and maternal?
I don't get it either. Yeah. I mean, she's an amazing fighter. I'm not going to take anything away from her at all. I just, I think she has been the main event in other UFC events. So, I mean, for this one, I think this is a long time coming, Oliveira and Poirier. People want to see Poirier fight for the title. So I think it was deserving for it to be the main event.
That just smacks of like you think no one would know they were fighting if it wasn't the main event. That's bullshit.
Who do you think they're all talking about? Sugar Sean O'Malley there, Brett? They're talking about Sugar Sean?
No, but that's my point. We all know who else is fighting on this card. It's not like it's like, hey, everyone, here's the headline fight, and the undercard is a secret. So if you like the main event, you can watch all the other ones that are going to be a surprise matchup, which actually isn't a terrible idea. That shit would be fire, to be honest with you. Can you imagine that shit? You're sitting there like, all right, fight number 3 is coming up, and you're like, oh shit, it's Poirier and Oliveira. What? Like, think about how crazy that would be.
Well, they kind of did that with this card, with the prelims.
Yes,
because like you look at the main card, and again, I'm like, I don't understand Sugar Sean O'Malley's appeal to where he's always
he
on
should be in the prelims. That Joker,
where he's always on the main card.
Just hair hate is all that is.
It's just God, I don't know. I feel like he's gonna ask me for $1 every time I see his picture outside of a 7-Eleven.
Like, didn't Don
Pena? I'm into that.
Dan,
fine. But anyways, like you look at Geoff Neal versus Santiago Ponzinibbio, like Kai Kara France, Cody Garbrandt. Love seeing. I'm not a huge Cody Garbrandt fan, but I'm liking his resurgence and like he's kind of making his way back. Good for him.
I mean, I like that Kai kid when he did Cody's little throat slash to him. The thing, but that kid is fired up. That was. I like
Kai Kara France he's a bad motherfucker. But that prelims card.
My point is. Yes, but my point is though is not knowing who's fighting until they until they announce them to walk out of the back.
Yeah, that's
dude. You're just so used to to Pearl Jam walking in to some sort of dive bar and then just hooking up and just like we're playing. That's the Seattle vibe. I get it. It's
grunge, man. if they do a Seattle card, they gotta do a grunge style. Like
that's exactly it. Just the way how Brad said it.
That's why, Sean. That's why you don't like versus, because that's exactly what happened. They walk out all these legends that are a part of their show, and it's awesome. Like the crowd goes bananas. And you're like, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah, honestly, Sean, that was fucked up that you hit Brad with that Pearl Jam thing, because Brad was watching versus. If it was Pearl Jam on versus, you would have been all over. You'd be like, oh man, Eddie Vedder came in, he was like, don't call me daughter, and it was fucking cool. And then so and so from Soundgarden threw a water bottle at him. Like you would have been all over that shit. Brad wouldn't have watched that show. It was Pearl Jam versus Soundgarden.
I wouldn't have wasted a minute on that.
Yeah.
Pearl Jam versus STP. Yeah.
Well, their front man's dead too. So. But this prelims card, the main event, Josh Emmett's one of my favorite fighters. He was one of those guys that was in Uriah Faber's camp. He was like a Team Alpha Male guy. He was the guy that everyone was constantly talking about, like kind of like Khabib was. With DC was talking about Khabib for a long time where he's like, there's this guy in our gym. He came from fucking Narnia. I don't know what his goddamn problem is, right? That Josh Emmett was always that guy with Team Alpha Male. I don't know if he's still there anymore or what his story is now because I haven't heard his name in a while, but seeing him ranked 7th still, fighting Dan Ige.
How about Dominic Cruz being on the prelim card?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Pedro Muniz. Like, that's not a small, like, that's what and again, it's not even I'm disrespecting Sugar Sean O'Malley. I get what they're Tai Tuivasa.
I was just going to say Tai Tuivasa.
That's your brother there, Sean.
But here's the brilliance of Dana White. The brilliance of Dana White is that he's making money now on these prelims because they're on ESPN with real national TV ad revenue money. So you can afford to pay those guys to be on free TV. And then it gets folks like us to watch, and then we're so fired up or drunk either
Oh,
or,
yeah.
that were buying the pay-per-view directly afterwards.
It used to be where I would sleep through the prelims and early prelims.
That's right.
And then rolling at 10 o'clock. I'm like, I got my beer. I'm full. I had a cigar. Now I'm like, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, oh, UFC's on. I got to jump on and pay attention.
Yeah.
God only knows what's going to happen. Yeah, they have Ryan Hall on the early prelims.
Early
One of the
prelims.
one of the most dangerous submission fighters in the fucking world.
That's why I mean it's
crazy.
It's great. Top to bottom.
Eric Anders versus
You're talking about this Randy Kosa Tony Kelly fight. You're talking about a guy at 6-2 versus a guy at 7-2.
Unbelievable. Teofimo Lopez versus George Cambasso. So in that
and you
fight,
don't even have to say his name. You could just say GKJ.
Yeah. So here he is.
He's a junior. 3 syllables. Boom.
Lopez loses all of his belts, and he fought with a torn esophagus going in there. He tore his esophagus going in, had air in his chest cavity area, stating that it was a miracle that he didn't die. If he got punched in the chest or anything, he would have a collapsed lung. Man, that
Reid,
is.
Are you familiar with this story at all?
Yes, I am. I'm trying to figure what the fuck Sean's doing over there with this.
Yeah. So basically, this fight has been put off 4 times for a myriad of different reasons, right? And so Teo feels a lot of pressure. And so after the weigh-in, they go to a restaurant and he starts to eat and hydrate, which is typical fighter protocol.
Yeah.
And at some point, he overstretches his esophagus and tears it. And he thought he was
like that happens after you're cutting weight all the time.
Yep. And he thought it felt like he was having an asthma attack, which he struggled with since he's been 6 years old. But they were in the back, like trying to burp him, like, pounding on it. Like there was real things going on. But he was so nervous about being checked out because he didn't want them to cancel the fight because of the blowback he would get publicly.
Yep.
For all these things, that he went in and fought anyway even with a swollen neck and all these other things. Post-fight, and didn't look like himself. We can all agree he did not, he still fought well into the fight, but he, got knocked down in the first round, I think. Just, didn't look as aggressive as we know him to be. Gets checked out afterwards. They rush him to the hospital. He hates what he's doing in the hospital. He doesn't like the treatment he's getting, checks himself out against doctor's advice, tries to go to the airport to fly home. And his trainer was able to get a doctor on, to call him and say, hey, can you come to see me? Went and saw him, got a CT scan, saw the tear. If he'd have flown, he would have most definitely probably had a serious issue in the air, just with the compression and
no access to medical services.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, we're talking about a guy who has so much air in his body where it doesn't belong that, any kind of fluctuation is going to cause
they were stating
breathing issue.
Yeah. Like if he got punched anywhere from the abdomen to the chest, that it could have collapsed his lung.
Collapse his lung to a point where you would need an emergency chest tube. And I'm telling you right now, when the medical advice is the only way to save you is with an emergency chest tube, you've got real problems.
Big problems.
So
it's amazing though, because the trust you have to have, I think, in all sides of that. Because I mean, first off, for just an athlete to be competing with asthma or type 1 diabetes or anything like that, it's you're already at a somewhat of a disadvantage because everybody else is like competing at probably their highest peak levels. So to even think about having an asthmatic attack just before a fight, I mean, I can't even imagine that. But yeah, I mean, the pressure to continue on with the fight, even if it's probably against your own best health care that you need, you're going against your better judgment in order to go in and fight because you don't want to hear the backlash.
Listen, that kid's fucking 24 years old.
Yeah.
He could have died.
Yeah.
Like it's, and the pressure he's feeling, here's the reality of it, right? The pressure he's feeling about this fight not happening, it's not the YouTube comments, it's not the tweets on social media. It's his camp. It's the people that are in his corner. It's his fucking, baby mama if he's got one, right? It's money.
Yeah,
it's not social media bullshit. It's money to have that fight. And like that's why it's for these guys in this sport, but boxing, it is a blood sport. And like you have to go in there no matter what and make your bank. And he has to sit there and set up his legacy with the whole thing. And he can't afford to miss a fight again. And that's brutal. It's vicious. And again, he's got a lot of people, family, friends, trainers, coaching staff. Like there's a lot of people that need some checks signed when you have a big fight like this. And that's really what's pushing a young man like that to make a decision.
Oh,
There was two things that stood out to me. One was that his nutritionist didn't accompany him to the restaurant to get rehydrated and replenished, which is tough, right?
Yeah.
You know, the second part is, and this is maybe an overarching question for the sport in general, but his dad is his trainer.
Yeah.
And man, that's good. That's a rough spot because if this guy's been drilling you your whole life to be tough and all those things, like you don't want to let him down and they can tell him that you feel soft or whatever, that that you're injured or whatever, right? Like there was some real mistakes made, I think, on the part of his camp. Not
24-year-old
out
kid.
the real ramifications of what could have happened.
24 years old.
Like
that's crazy. But you know what? He's alive. What a bad motherfucker. This is the shit we say about Patrice Bergeron here in Boston all the time, where it's like after the playoff season's over, whether we win or lose, he had a, collapsed lung and all this shit. That's sports,
That's most hockey players too. It's crazy. Yeah.
He's a legend now for that.
There's a spot of knowing it. I think there's a spot of knowing it and then not knowing it. Because that's what this whole story was so striking to me. He didn't go into that fight knowing that's what he had and was just being I can weather the storm, right?
But still, you're thinking it's asthmatic attack or anything like that. It's just like it's scary. It's scary going into something like that, especially after you beat a guy like Lomachenko. You finally break the top 10 pound for pound fighter. That's pressure.
I hate to you distract from the topic here, but the Lomachenko fight. Do you think he really beat him? A lot of people are saying it was bullshit.
No, I watched that fight. I don't see how he won, but
maybe
you go to the cards. You go to the cards, kids.
Yeah,
you go to the cards.
I never argue decisions, which means in boxing I don't do a lot of arguing. But that's one of those ones where I was like,
yeah. Well, there's been a few times, right? There's been a few times you've seen highway robbery, like Lennox Lewis, Evander Holyfield won. That was
more than a few times. That was the one that recently though, when that decision came out, from my couch, I went, "Whoa!"
Yeah, I don't argue decisions in MMA, wrestling, kickboxing, whatever. Shame on you for letting it go to the cards.
Figure skating,
go to the cards a lot in boxing. Figure skating,
anything with a judge. I'm like, you just let it ride.
I'm like, you guys are doing doubles here. Should have kicked her throat with that blade. You would have won. They just keep lining up, and I'm like, throw her into the fucking stands already. Finish her.
Put her in the boards.
Oh my gosh.
Sean's gonna have to explain figure skating to me someday.
One day. All right. Let's switch gears here, okay? I wanted to talk about this. Brad's not so spry on this, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts here, Reid. Arizona Coyotes and their woes. Their woes this season.
Are we talking about financial or
we're talking about financial? Yeah.
Listen, every organization has debts.
Just real quick, Sean, tell Reid about what you think happened.
Oh Jesus!
With what, Arizona?
Yeah, that it was a human error.
Well, that's what was reported as. It was human error. And I'm like, well, this is the worst human error I've ever seen. That you're not paying your taxes to the tune of $4 million. Back taxes to the tune of $4 million. That's including back taxes and whatever else that they owed. Lighting, I don't know. That's a lot of money to not all of a sudden pay.
That's taxes, water bill, electric bill.
They're almost locked out of their own thing, their own arena.
Well, it's not their own arena.
Yeah,
you're already locked out of shit you own. Put that up there.
This has been one of the most contentious situations ever since they went to Glendale. It's been a fucking nightmare. And it goes back to no one gives a shit about hockey in Arizona. They made it work somehow amazingly.
Wait a second. No one gives disagree. Come on.
Yeah,
come on. Yeah. Austin Matthews came out of Arizona. Austin Matthews came out of Arizona. It's going to represent your country, probably bring you a gold medal. Holy smokes. Right now.
Listen, you think he got that good playing in fucking Arizona? You're high. It's called travel hockey. All right. He was up in fucking he was at St. Mary's in fucking Ohio and shit like that. He wasn't getting those skills in Arizona.
But he came from there.
He saw Ronick and he was like, this is gonna be an NHL player. No, he was fucking everywhere else. Tyler Myers is from fucking Texas.
Yeah.
You know why Sean has such a hard on for the Coyotes?
Because Austin Matthews is from Arizona.
Who was in the ownership group of that Arizona team?
Weiner. The Weiner was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mr.
Rick
Gretzky. Yeah.
Scenario.
Moving on.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Hey.
Here's the thing. So
No
you
one
know
gives
they're
a shit
having-
about hockey in Arizona. That's why they have money problems.
yeah,
No
yeah,
one's
yeah.
at
I
the fucking
agree.
games.
I agree. I'm just saying that a certain
And no one
kid,
does in Florida, and they have the two best teams in the NHL right now, and no one gives a shit.
Yeah,
No
but
one
they're
gives a shit.
growing. They're growing the fan base in Florida. They are. They're
Only
growing.
because they're winners, John. Only
Yeah.
because they have the two best teams in the league right now in
Really?
that state, and they still don't have.
The
Yeah.
the Panthers were in real trouble, but like Florida is there. Everyone's so high down there all the time. For the Panthers fans, they're just like, let's do coke and go to a fucking hockey game, and they have no idea what's going on.
Or it's
It's a-
retired New York guys that care about hockey. And they're-
Yeah, exactly.
There.
And
I
Carolina.
know guys my age that moved down to Florida. They're like, dude, I'm going to fucking hockey games every night, but only $20, a beer,
Yeah.
popcorn, and the ticket. It sounds awesome.
Don
To watch
Cherry.
Aaron Ekblad, Vincent Trocheck, Andrei Barkov.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, it's a good product down there.
It is. They have a
Arizona's
really good
not
team.
a good product. I couldn't tell you
No.
anyone on there. Phil Kessel's the only guy I can name you on Arizona Coyotes.
At this moment, that's
Wow.
correct, because he's probably on his way out. Tyler Hall just came from there. Like it's a disaster over there
Taylor
in
Hall.
Arizona. Taylor Hall, still a disaster. A disaster over there. But here's the thing: that you have the general.
Sean's throwing shade again. Taylor
Yep.
Hall's a Bruin. He's like, oh, that Tyler Hall. He's a great Canadian. Come on.
Hey, so we're looking at the whole entire the owners meetings are going on right now in the NHL down in California or Florida. It's somewhere in there, nice and sunny.
Somewhere where there's a lot of
Beautiful.
prostitutes in the weather.
You know.
Somewhere it's warm and there's some strip malls.
So, anyways, though, Gary Bettman just comes out. Gary Bettman comes out and says he's going to be the commissioner forever. It looks like he's going to be commissioner for many, many years to come.
Why not? He's doing a great job. I don't understand the hate.
Dude, we had two lockouts there.
No.
It was like, crazy town.
Gives
But he
a
is doing a
shit.
good job. He's grown the market.
He's
grown
dealing
the
with
32
guys
teams.
from the Czech Republic, Canada, fucking Germany. Like, it's how do you get everyone on the same goddamn page?
Did you hear he's
It's not
coming?
like basketball where it's all black guys and you get the occasional Latvian.
Did you hear he's coming to Quebec City to talk to government officials there? Possible expansion or team movement. But they're saying Arizona's not going to move
sure.
anywhere.
Arizona's not going to have a say in the matter in another.
No. This is according to Gary Bettman that Arizona's not going to move anywhere. They might move from Glendale, but they're not going to move out of state.
He can't spoil a deal. Like, stop reading headlines. We see this shit like this all the time. That happened with the Thrashers. They said the Thrashers weren't going anywhere,
And they ended up in
morning,
Winnipeg.
They were in Winnipeg again. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
The Nordiques, same. It's like this happens every time.
But that's the thing. Is that right now the
We've
talk
lived
about
through
Quebec?
all of these, Sean.
Quebec is the next one in line. If you were to look at it, Quebec is the next one in line to get a hockey team.
No one gives a fuck about hockey, NHL hockey in Quebec either.
What are
Good
you
luck.
talking about?
They have the entire Montreal has the entire province.
You are
you
sadly
fucking crazy? You're
mistaken
gonna
because you
introduce
don't
another team in there?
understand the landscape of Quebec. Then
I don't have
because
to understand. It's 600,000 people. I don't give a shit.
it's a 1.4 just in Montreal alone. So just to say that
What?
Montreal,
Is this some kind of weird? Is this some kind of
million,
weird
dude,
measurement?
million.
I didn't know you had
They also-
millions in Canada.
They also count dogs.
Yeah.
Dogs
Like,
are a
listen,
recognized person.
Montreal fans.
There are 500,000 humans and 900,000 dog de Bordeaux.
We
Listen.
were told in the 90s that all dogs go to heaven. Therefore, we decided that they are also people and they should be counted for our census.
He's like, I
Listen.
don't see anywhere in the Bible that says anything about dogs going to heaven, so they obviously are
Oh my
people, so we're
gosh!
gonna count them as
All right.
dogs.
For tax
Montreal purposes, and right off.
Montreal fans, just hold it a moment here. So Montreal fans will go to Montreal games. People that come from Quebec City or Northern Quebec or anywhere like that will not and never will cheer for Montreal. They're cheering for New York Rangers right now, Colorado Avalanche. They refuse to cheer for the
Whatever,
Montreal
they got their
Canadiens.
teams.
That's
They're picking
600.
winners
Uh,
because they're picking winners.
Can't win with you two. Just can't.
This
win
is
with
like
you two.
arguing with
You're
your
Canadian.
drunk uncle on Facebook who only just reads headlines of the articles. Like there's
Headlines.
no substance.
There's substance.
He's like, the southern border needs a wall. There is a wall, Uncle
Listen,
John. It's been
Canada,
there for fucking 30 years. What do we do?
Canada
Nah, they need a
needs
wall.
Canada needs an eighth team. All right. There's 32 in there. We have
For
7.
parity? What for parity?
Yes.
So you want the Arizona team for parity? They're terrible. Why would you pick the worst one?
Look at Winnipeg. They were terrible in Atlanta. Look at them now. They're challengers.
Listen, we have a situation with, NFL's thinking about expanding. MLB's always talking about it, right? NBA's talking about it. Great. They're making enough money to do so. NHL should be turtling. Cut off the Coyotes. Cut off fucking one of California's 6 teams. It took you this
California has as many teams as the country of Canada. Is that correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, California only has, let's see here. We have Los Angeles, San Jose. Who's the other one there? Anaheim. So 3 teams. 3 teams in
so 6.
Yeah, so 6.
You round up the Queen's English. It's 6.
We only have 2. We only have 2 in Ontario.
I don't know what
There
that
could
is,
be-
Sean.
There could be a 3rd team in Ontario.
It's a dessert, Reid. It's a
Okay, it's like a tiramisu. Nice.
Yeah.
Lady fingers.
It's lady fingers and Oreos. They open the
yeah,
Oreo up.
I think
and
they
then
put
lay
absinthe
lady
over
fingers
that
around
too,
it.
right?
Put some whipped cream on it.
Yeah.
Quite
I've had
delicious.
that shit before. Ontario, that sounds good.
Sweet.
I prefer a baked Alaska.
Sweet
Yeah.
Lord. Okay.
I think there's more people in Alaska than there is in this Ontario.
Oh my gosh. Why? Why do I even talk to you two?
There's more people in LA than there are in Ontario, though. You
Oh
can
my
admit
gosh.
that. You can admit that. In LA County, there's more people than there are.
There's more documented people in LA than there is there. There's more people in LA than there is in all of Canada.
Listen, we are the
And more dogs. Quebec.
we're the 50th. Toronto is the 50th largest city in the world.
What do you have? Do you have one of those bathroom reader digests of 50 facts that no one gives a shit
I almost
about?
said it to you this week. I looked
The
at
50th?
something. I'll see if I can go find it. I was looking at Canadian traits just because I was brushing up on my bombs to throw at Sean, and it was like the 150 most Canadian things, and it's top shelf. It's so good.
I love that Brad's down at like Skagit Valley fucking community college, taking classes on Canadian culture.
Yeah, one of them was we invented basketball, and then parentheses said it was actually invented in America, but by a Canadian. And I was like,
That's
all
right. That's right.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the list. It's top shelf. But
the Steelers losing to the Vikings. Do you think that's it for them? They're out of the playoff picture.
They were out already, but how about how terrible Minnesota is? It was 29-0 and that game was competitive. They were listen, I don't know if you stayed up late enough to watch the end of that game because the end of that game was wild, right? Yeah. But you have a safety coming in to make a giant hit on the tight end to separate that ball in the last play. And if he caught that ball, we're talking about an entirely different outcome. It was unbelievable how close that game got.
I don't know how that was
really
a
was
primetime game, to be honest with you, in the fucking first place. I don't know in what world you're scheduling that to be a primetime game.
Every Minnesota game should be primetime, Reid, if you're watching. They cannot hold the lead. 29 points.
At this point, yeah. But I'm like,
they gave up 29 points and a half. They were
I checked into the game. It was 23-zip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, Dalvin Cook, I'm playing him in every fucking league for some reason. This hurts.
Yeah, what was it? 125
Justin
yards in the first half? 125 yards.
For some reason, every team that I played that has Dalvin Cook this week also had Justin Jefferson. So
he was a game time decision.
Yeah.
With that shoulder. He broke off 205 and had one of the biggest catches to keep that game alive when they went down and scored the touchdown that ended up being the deciding factor.
He sucks. He really does just suck.
Yep.
And that's just going to play him everywhere, except Robot Reid has him.
Not as bad as Ben Roethlisberger does. Ben Roethlisberger that ship has sailed. He should have went out last year.
Listen, the amount of memes I keep seeing. The first one was funny, where it's like Ben Roethlisberger out, and then it just says fat in parentheses as the reason. now I'm seeing old, overweight, old fat rapist. It's just come on, man.
Disinterested.
Batlock was on. It's oh god. The disrespect.
He was getting killed because his line couldn't block anybody. He was getting smoked, and he was yelling at Mike Tomlin. And it reminded me of when you play the Turkey Bowl when you're younger, and the one old guy shows up and he's all pissed off because he's not good anymore. But he's yelling at his teammates. That's what it reminded me of.
Get your head in the game. That was like Sam Cassell in 2008 with the Celtics. He's like, it's like, Dude, you're fucking 90, and why are you yelling at everybody? You're not the coach. Let Doc handle that shit. Just be old.
We can see your ligaments. That's how old you are.
Yeah, like, stop it. You feel like the Crypt Keeper. Yeah, yeah, poor Ben. You know, like he gets what he deserves. I know.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. That we're at the end of his career, and we're like,
but they're 6-6-1. They technically still can make a postseason.
Sean, don't talk about the season
appearance.
Who cares?
I'm just saying. You got the Ravens and the Browns happening this week.
We're trying to build our fan base in Pittsburgh, Reid. So we have to talk nice.
Listen.
Pittsburgh's the Canada of the United States of America. Let me just say that right now. Welcome, Pittsburgh GBS fans. What do we have two. We have Kenny and Damien.
Yeah. We've got wins and losses, and then Pittsburgh's in there with like this one little mark. They're like, oh, we have a tie.
Russia was able to maintain their steel industry for centuries, and for some fucking reason, Pittsburgh's like, we had one for 20 years and it fell apart. They're embarrassing. We should offshoot them to Canada. They should be a satellite Canada city.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Probably be better. Crosby would love it. But yeah, man, it's I love Mike Tomlin until I realized this season how much money Mike Tomlin makes. He's like one of the highest paid coaches of all time, and I'm like, you should be doing better than that, Mike.
Wait, here's the thing. Pittsburgh beat the Ravens the week before.
So what? The Ravens are playing terrible football lately.
They're not. About? Yeah, but they're number one in the division.
I got an email on my Hotmail account from the Ravens for a cornerback tryout this week.
they're in terrible shape. Before the season started, they lost five running backs. Like I don't know. I don't even know how they're still. If they're on anybody's power rankings, they're assholes. Whoever ranks them high is like they can't win. It's like the Patriots last season with all the opt-outs. It's fucking brutal. Yeah. They got bit by the bug. Bad.
If you're a cornerback or a running back for Baltimore, your ACL is on notice.
Oh, fuck you. I would not be taking that job. I'd be like, I'm 25, I get kids.
Yep.
Fuck you, Baltimore.
All right. Let's go from top to bottom here. Okay, so we have the Saints and the Jets in New York. Well, New Jersey, technically.
East Rutherford.
Yeah.
One of my favorite places to watch a football game.
All right.
The hotel's so close.
Well, if you're into that, Reid, you can get a ticket for as low as $13 in East Rutherford.
That's the last time I went. That's about what we did, and that was a Packers game.
Yep.
Wow.
$13 a
I think Alvin Kamara comes out and runs all over the Jets, and that's the all-shoot.
Yeah. I think that's.
Yeah, I'm gonna file this under. Who cares? I hope Taysom Hill gets a boatload of fantasy points because that's starting 2 leagues.
I think the only win the Jets are gonna have the rest of out is when they play Buffalo in 3 weeks.
And they're gonna consider the season a success. They're gonna have a parade for Robert Salah every time. Listen, I love watching that dude win because it's so exciting. Yep. Not as much as I love seeing Gardner Minshew get a win in Philadelphia with his dad celebrating in the parking lot, but I love watching Robert Salah win.
I was just happy that Gardner could finally just go take a shit. That's what I just felt like.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on. I can't believe you just said that, Brad, the Jets beating the Bills. I don't know. You're high. All right. Off we go.
We're going. Everyone's
beating the Bills now.
Robert Saleh's going to be on his shoulders like Mike Ditka was in '85 as they carry him off the field.
That's their Super Bowl. Everyone's beating the Bills right now. Everyone's getting a piece.
They're saving up like when they're resting everybody up. They have fake injuries. They're just saving it all up for that.
All right,
it's the buffet Bills, not the Buffalo Bills. Everyone's getting get the scoop.
All right, we got Falcons and Panthers.
So wait. Whoa. Time out for a second. You thought you were gonna sleep? How are we not talking about the past Bills game? How are we not talking about? Okay, all right.
Oh, you want to talk about? You want to talk about?
Sean McDermott's comments.
You want to talk about the greatest coach really doing what he's supposed to do. And that is, okay, it's windy as anything. No, we're going to run this ball down your throat. And
first of all, you're wrong. Bill Parcells wasn't involved in that game.
Oh, for crying.
You said the greatest coach, though.
Yeah, I know. I picked my words.
I didn't see Lou Piniella in Buffalo.
Lou Piniella,
best record in baseball.
Best record in baseball. Yeah, what happened to that team?
Who cares? It's the best record. I'm not even gonna get into this.
What happened to that team? Brad can tell you.
Who cares? It's the
Brad can tell you.
You love records.
Being a Maple Leafs fan Sean would have a little more juice about losing in the first round when you're really good. But here we are.
I can't talk shit. You know, Patriots.
You talk.
18-0.
Listen,
18-0.
The Patriots.
18-1. Sorry, 18-1.
Sean, sometimes you have a good season and you just lose in the first round. And sometimes you're the Maple Leafs and you just make the first round and you still lose. It just depends on how it goes.
To the Canadians.
But here's the
The
thing.
club do hockey.
So you want to talk about that game? It was a boring game.
Back to what's the next game, Sean?
Boring
We're
game.
gonna get to it later.
Boring game to watch.
Oh, it was exciting as shit.
No,
watching
man,
Josh Allen be able to do
Man,
nothing.
I would be embarrassed
Like I said
if
the entire
my
time.
favorite team was the #1 rushing defense in the league and then just got pounded.
I agree with you. It was
pounded.
disgusting. It was. I was very upset. And then for Sean McDermott to go out there and say, "Oh, let's not give Bill Belichick all that praise there about winning the game because it's like the stupidest thing to say." Now you think that guy's not sitting there. You don't think Bill Belichick's sitting there and thinking about new ways to come out there in Foxborough, how to beat your team? Yeah, of course he is. That was a stupid thing to say.
I brought up Sean McDermott's comments because I love Petty. Like Sean McDermott was fucking peak Petty for me.
Yeah,
he was
completely.
Tom Petty. He was Petty Roosevelt. It was fucking great. I'm like, I might be a Bills fan now. He looks like Bill Burr. He's saying that he's talking that kind of shit. Like that's fucking amazing.
Bill Belichick lives on the top floor of Sean McDermott's apartment in his head.
On top of that stupid
Rent-free.
ginger bald head, Bill Belichick's just sitting there laying on his boat with his little feetsies up. Still my favorite Bill Belichick.
And how dare you get me all riled up here about the Bills losing like that? They lost horribly.
Do you
Sean,
remember
on a
that
scale of
shit
1
you
to
were
10, how
talking?
sweaty are you right now, Sean? On a scale of 1 to 10,
Dude.
how sweaty are you?
It's like a sauna in there.
I can see it.
His eyebrow makeup's running off. It's getting all smeared. He's looking like Natalie Portman in The Black Swan. He's just like,
How dare you? Jeez. I was appalled at that game. Appalled. And
John,
why do you build a stadium where you know it's a cold climate like that, and then wind can come with it? It's like, oh, let's build a stadium where it's gonna mess
weird.
everybody up. It's gonna mess everybody up.
Listen, you can talk about Bill Belichick, what he did offensively with the ball. The defense should have got more credit, right? Because that's all they ever talk about. Is like, oh, Mac Jones only threw it 3 times. Defense deserves more credit.
The defense, you're the 12th man,
JC
which is
Jackson,
the wind.
Dante
The wind.
Hightower. We both had the same amount of wind, asshole. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but we had no run game.
It's your barn.
That's what I'm
your
saying.
fucking barn.
Who
We don't have any.
Who builds a building like that?
Who's our running back situation?
Just real
Damian
quick, you know
Harris?
that they only scored points
DeMondre
going in one
Stevenson.
direction, right?
Thank you.
True.
Right? What happened when the Bills won the coin toss to start the game?
Thank you.
Instead of choosing the direction that would ensure they had the right way to score in the fourth quarter, they chose to take the ball.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Thank you.
Ridiculous.
But it doesn't matter. Josh Allen
Except the
couldn't
natural elements.
Josh Allen couldn't make a play. He couldn't adjust. He's what I said he was. An okay, maybe below okay quarterback at best, who also can't grow a mustache. All your heroes can't grow a mustache.
Here's how you know Josh Allen is trash: is that his completion percentage in the wind is the same as it is normally.
Listen to the commentators on ESPN. So they were like, "Look at his arm." I'm like, "Yeah, look at it. He's throwing into the wind, against the with the wind, and it's like it's cruising 60 yards.
Yeah.
Wow.
The wind is moving right to left, and he's throwing to the left. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
Good
it's
job.
like so crazy. Yeah, they want this kid to be a thing so bad because they all
He can't
thought that
throw to
shit.
the right in the wind, but it's cool.
And Sean, you believe that shit, and now you're in the situation you're in.
All right, whatever.
Now you have to.
I'm
live with
moving
it.
on.
It's still
This is
football
why
season,
you're wearing
and a
Toronto.
hockey
This is
jersey.
why you're wearing hockey jerseys at NBA games, because you're just so fed up with your teams. You can't
Yeah.
even think straight.
Whatever.
Well,
Okay, we're moving on.
You guys should be more upset about what the Colts did to you. Because you don't have the big bad specter of weather and Bill Belichick controls the wind. Ooh.
Hey, dude, we're losing games. Jacksonville was the worst, the absolute worst.
I think Buffalo Bills are the worst right now.
No, I mean Jacksonville's beat down of us 6-9.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was the worst. All right, let's just move on.
Some would say it was nice.
I thought so. I thought it was real classic. When it hit 420 in the first quarter, I was like, Second quarter, I was like, oh. It's like the Vince McMahon thing. Third quarter, like, ah. Fourth quarter, I was like, ah.
All right. Falcons, Panthers.
Gives a shit.
Ah!
Next game.
Carolina wins. What do you say? What do you say, Brad?
Carolina's defense is better than Atlanta's offense. So, yeah, Carolina wins. Next.
I like
All right,
that one.
Seahawks, and the Texans.
I've been enjoying watching. Who's starting for the Texans this week?
Davis Mills. Full tank mode.
Seattle.
Seattle.
Yeah.
Unfortunate.
Hey, I was right too. I picked Seattle against the Niners last week. I
Yep.
said by a touchdown. It was.
You were right.
Cool. Let's go the black for that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is 17-4 against the 49ers in his career, so really
That's
on
actually-
limb there, Sean.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah. If you look at the NFC West, Seattle owns San Francisco, but the Rams own Seattle, but then the Rams are also owned by San Francisco, and then Arizona is just like the stepchild that doesn't own anybody. But,
Yeah, the associative pattern.
yeah, they're good this year, but they don't have
like.
there's not a historical precedent where Arizona dominates one team for no good reason. But like the Rams have always dominated Seattle, in recent eras. San Francisco just dominates the Rams. It's even when the Rams are good, it's just that's the mark of it. Arizona's just left out.
Raiders and the Chiefs in Kansas City.
This game was better earlier in the year when Kansas City sucked, and the Raiders went there and won. But I think Kansas City runs
over them.
all over them at home. Come on now,
That's
Patrick Mahomes.
That's one of the toughest places to play.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes still isn't great, but he's getting better.
Yeah.
The defense is playing well.
You think Derek Carr's better?
No, I think they're regressing. I think they're all regressing.
Josh
They overcome a
Jacobs
lot.
is not regressing.
Yes, it's true.
He's doing this, trending. In the right
He's
direction.
running like Roger Goodell has emails on him too.
All right, we got the Browns and the Ravens in Cleveland.
A game we should care more about, but I really don't because the Ravens aren't. They're missing so many key players. If the Browns win this one,
All of our
This
friends
is
in
really
Cleveland, you go to that game for $23. So
Wow.
imagine that, a divisional matchup game in Cleveland, it's $23.
this late in the season, and
That's
they're all still in it.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
the Browns. It's not the Browns of yesteryear where it's like, well, it's week 8. We had a good run. so much for the playoffs.
We've already got our win this year.
Kobe.
I'm gonna pick the Browns for
We know.
parity's sake. I'm sure you guys are picking the Ravens.
No, I'm also picking the Browns.
Ah.
I think that the Cleveland's defense is too big for the.
I think, I again, this is not a knock on Lamar Jackson or Mark Andrews or any of the other standout players in Baltimore. They don't have a running back of note. Devontae Freeman, they're talking about him like he's the second coming of Christ out there, and I'm like, 5 years ago, yeah, like
I mean, the
come
guy
on.
that got cut mid-season by the New York Giants, that guy.
The fucking Giants. Thank you. Yeah, and they're like, oh, well, you got leaner. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just
All
shut
right.
the fuck up. He's got
We
Lamar
got-
Jackson.
Washington.
I've taken the
football-
Browns.
Yeah, perfect. Washington football team and the Dallas Cowboys.
Excited for this one. This is
I
gonna
am
be a
too.
matchup I give a shit about because Dak Prescott's playing bad football just enough. He's good and bad. He's Jekyll and Hyde in it. I love Taylor Heineke, Green Lizard, J.D. McKissick. I love Antonio Gibson. Whoever the fuck is starting, I'm just excited to see it. Shame on what the hell's he doing?
He's got to go to the bathroom.
Are you kidding me? Wow. That just happened. He didn't say a word. He's like, all right, boys, vamp. Play me off. Logan Thomas, that's a shame.
Yep. It's unfortunate. It's another team that's getting ACL problems, right? That's the thing.
Yeah, Brady Seal Jones has a bad hip, but looks like he's going to have to suit up because there's no one else.
Yep. Yeah, I want Washington to win so bad.
Yeah.
I just have a dislike for the Cowboys organization
Cowboys.
in general. I hate Jerry
Yeah.
Jones. Mike McCarthy just looks like he smells like cold cuts.
I hate Mike McCarthy.
He's the worst. So I like that they're trying to overload it, and he was, guaranteeing wins. And then Jerry Jones, who famously backs about everything that has to do with his team, was like, whoa, let's stop short of guaranteeing wins.
I'll put up $2 billion of my own money to build AT&T Field, but let's not guarantee anything beyond that.
Let's not guarantee we're going to beat this nameless team that plays up in DC. Maybe Bill Snyder's got something on Jerry Jones. We don't know.
Here's the thing. Washington's going to win this game, hands down.
Did you wash your hands?
No.
Of course. Yes.
You didn't even shake it.
Washington's going to – you know what? It would have worked out perfectly too, boys, because I had it on gallery there. Actually, speaker. Yeah. So none of you
guys – It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one would have known except for the fact that you took way longer than that game to get it done. Like we were talking about Ricky Jones Seal's hip, trying to buy time.
Oh, I heard everything.
I know. We know you could hear.
Yeah.
We did the math.
Yeah.
We could also hear you, just so you know.
No, you couldn't.
Good stream for your age. Good stream for your age.
Bravo.
Clearly, you're getting that prostate checked. Yeah, I like the Washington football team just because it's the ideal scenario for me. Again, Cowboys, you know what the fuck they're gonna do with all the talent they have down there. It's like I don't know how they're not winning every game. I know, Mike McCarthy.
Yeah,
nailed it.
Scooby-Doo,
that we solved the mystery.
Man, yeah. I mean, here's the thing: is that okay? So you're saying not guaranteeing, don't guarantee a win, but yet, wasn't it the head coach there of Indianapolis guaranteed? No, it was the owner of Indianapolis guaranteed 2 Super Bowl titles within this decade.
I was saying that Jerry Jones was backing off his coach guaranteeing a win. I thought that was fascinating.
Yeah, but you have the owner.
It's Jerry Jones.
Yes, it's Jerry Jones.
Remember,
saying,
Jerry Jones.
It's Jerry Jones saying, let's not be so bold to make a guarantee.
Again, spent $2 billion of his own money for a fucking crazy Jerry Jones.
I like the guarantees. I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying Jerry Jones being like, hey, pump the brakes on this thing just makes me laugh.
That's the bit. Yeah, Jerry Jones is like, all right, guys, let's tone it down a little bit. Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I would like to submit to the group that Mike McCarthy is a fatter Charlie Weiss. Can I get an amen?
You don't like Charlie Weiss? You don't like Charlie Weiss?
No, I do. I just don't like Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
are we gonna argue about the girth of Charlie Weiss?
No.
Is that really the thing?
Okay. No. I like
Charlie. What's crazy?
John, you have a better beard than Mike McCarthy does.
Well, thank you.
See,
what's crazy is Mike McCarthy's only 25 too. That's how awful. People overlook how young and talented he is for how successful he's been for his age.
Yeah,
but he just looks awful that you can't tell.
All right. We got Jacksonville going into Tennessee.
It's Tennessee.
Next. Is Derrick Henry back?
Doesn't matter.
It's Jacksonville, Sean. Jeremy McNichols and Deontay Foreman could all drop dead, and they're still going to win that game by a lot.
There you go. I agree.
All right, so Jacksonville, is Trevor Lawrence bad? Is he just a rookie?
I don't think that he's bad. I think that it's a scheme. I think it's lack of protection. I mean, I watched him play last week. He has the physical tools. It's not like he's overmatched. He even threw some balls that his receivers dropped. I mean, that's plaguing that team.
Yeah. James Robinson had trouble being healthy.
Yep.
For long stretches.
Yeah. I don't think that he's a bust by any stretch. I don't think he's not Jared Goff. Yeah. He's got some talent. He just they need to build around him a little bit more. Let's not forget that Travis Etienne got hurt in the preseason. And that backfield is way different if he has a solid running game.
Yeah.
So there are better days ahead, I think, at least for that kid.
All right. Mr. Lap Dance and Trevor Lawrence. Yes.
Speaking of Jared Goff, we got the Lions and the Broncos.
The Lions with the introduction of Josh Reynolds into that offense, who Jared Goff knows from LA, who Jared Goff didn't really pay that much attention to in LA though. For some reason, them in Detroit, Jared Goff's like, great, you went from a great situation to the doggest shit situation outside of fucking New York Jets with me. Let's hook up. I don't
He
think
doesn't
Josh
have.
Reynolds is
Yeah,
getting the
I mean
credit that
Cooper
he's
Cup
getting.
and Robert Woods aren't trying to steal catches from him. That's the thing.
Yeah. He's in. Josh Reynolds is loving it. Jared Goff's loving it. Tyler Hawkinson's, playing some big boy football again. I saw him put on some nasty blocks last week. I was like, what the fuck? I didn't think he was that dude.
Yeah,
And he was
he-
that
you
dude.
think-
He's a mean dude.
He's
Do you
a
think
fucking
that-
nasty son of a bitch.
You think that Detroit has lost their
They've lost
their
everything.
chance for the first round draft pick after that victory?
Oh yeah, I don't think they care though.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell doesn't care. He's building for the future. He'd rather pick third and have some wins at the back end of a season than he would
Sounds
get the
good.
first pick.
I
The
like
D needs some wins. So, and who are they playing this week?
Denver.
it. Denver.
I like
Fuck it.
Detroit. They got a little taste of
Fuck
blood. Detroit does.
Yeah.
Denver's reeling.
Yeah.
I'm
picking Detroit in this too.
game
I'm
play.
picking Detroit. I think that they could beat Denver. Denver.
I just love watching Josh Reynolds play football, and I'm seeing a lot of it in Detroit. That's great. So we'll see some more of that.
Agree.
All right, we got the Giants and the Chargers. Chargers all day. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Well,
You're
maybe.
wrong.
Maybe. The whole wide receiver room feels like it's out on the COVID list, so they might be starting. The
Yeah.
security guard from row 103 might be running routes.
The Giants defense is weirdly better than I thought all
Yeah.
season for some fucking reason.
Especially against the rush. It's going to be the Austin Eckler show, but then do you trust Austin Eckler to be the show? I don't know.
No.
I still think it's the Chargers, but it'd be an all-day slam dunk. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if the Giants won with a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
They happen to be the healthier team. It's just weird.
Weirdly.
It's a weird week for that to happen, but without the receivers from the Chargers being on the COVID list, the Chargers all day long, but it's not that's not the hand we're playing with.
Listen, Justin Herbert, what he's been able to do has been wildly impressive. Austin Eckler is Austin Eckler, but I think the Giants are, again, their defense just seems to be clicking right now, and I think we're going to see the crescendo here this weekend, and then they're just going to go back to Cleveland.
To be honest, we saw a little resurgence with Freddie Kitchens when he took over for the Cleveland Browns back in the day, right? And now he's, this will be his second game, I think, as the OC for the Giants after the departure of Jason Garrett. So maybe they've got something. Who knows, right?
That's a big rally point. When a coach gets fired, it's like benching a goalie, right? Like it's one of those things where it's like, we're in trouble. That's how you tell a room full of millionaires they fucked up, is you fired Jason Garrett.
Yeah.
Poor sweet Jason. Poor sweet. I had the head coach under fucking Jim Jones, Jason Garrett. Poor sweet. Leave it to Beaver Ginger, Jason Garrett. He gets his head on the chop block for shit he didn't even do. That's how you tell a room full of millionaires, super athletes.
Yeah.
Get your shit together.
All right, we got.
They're getting their shit together.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Giants.
Agree.
Yo. Okay.
Also the
I love
Giants.
it. Wow. I'm going with the Chargers. All right. We have some nice picks here. All right.
You like the
Niners.
Cowboys get better, so it makes sense.
Niners and Bengals in Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm going
They're at home.
Bengals too. Yeah.
How's Joe Burrow's pinky?
In a glove.
Yeah.
I love
picking?
watching that team. I love Joe Mixon. I love Joe Burrows. I love Chase.
Jamar Chase is a real receiver, right?
I love T. Higgins. Gosh darn it. I love Uzuma. I love
Tyler
the
Boyd.
Bengals. Tyler Boyd.
Listen, whenever they score, I want to jump off the couch and do the icky shuffle. I'm just nostalgic. Maybe that's part of the
Hell yeah. Yeah, my girl's brother was out there with his girl for the Cincinnati game. He did the big faux pas. He wore Bengals gear. Some bitch shit, and then he rooted for the Patriots on Monday. But I am stepping his sister, so I'm gonna let it slide.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whatever. But
hey, listen.
great team.
At least he
Couldn't
wore team-centric gear. Like it wasn't.
It was just all Bengals shit. It wasn't like he was in he wasn't in a different organization.
But here's the
A
thing.
different sport like Sean was.
Can Cincinnati win that division?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the AFC North. Why not?
Yeah. I mean, and you're
The only
playing.
thing settled in the AFC is nothing. Nothing settled in the AFC at this point, right? Like,
No.
who's got their shit all tied up?
Nobody.
Not one team.
Not the AFC South, not the AFC East, not the AFC North. I don't know.
All right.
Why not?
So the Bills
If Joe
and the
Mixon can
Bucks.
stay healthy, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
That offense
Bills.
needs to Joe Mixon.
Bills and Bucks.
Bucks all day. Shaq, Devin White.
I don't know how you could pick. I don't know how you could pick Buffalo.
I'm picking
After
Buffalo.
what you've seen the last 2 weeks.
We
I'm
know you're
picking
picking
Buffalo.
Sean. I just
I'm
don't know how
picking-
you could.
All
right, Sean.
Yeah.
Sean, you're on a sports podcast though. You have to be objective here.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, there's no.
What
come
has
on.
shown you over the
If-
last
if-
couple of weeks that it's going to happen?
If I'm going to be objective here, I mean, I'm probably going to have to pick the Bucks. But the thing is that I have a feeling. I got a feeling that the game's going to be a great game.
Oh,
that
man.
the game's going to be a great game.
Don McDermott losing this shit or this? This is everyone. This is a sign of an organization imploding.
Is that your Fergie impression?
Yeah.
That was Will.i.am and Fergie. All
Yeah,
over.
there we
got
go.
to is
Yeah.
Fergie's Fergie impression on the show.
Oh
Listen,
my
I don't
God.
think the Bucks are playing terribly great football lately. Tom Brady hasn't been playing terribly great football lately, and I still don't think this is going to be close. I think what the defense excels in Tampa Bay, they're going to have a field day with Buffalo. So
It'll be
Yeah, I
interesting.
Tampa Bay by a lot,
All
like by
right.
10.
We'll
Tampa Bay
see.
special teams also doesn't make big wonders like
We'll see.
those do.
All right, we
will
got the Bears and the Packers Sunday night.
Aaron Rodgers still has to answer for his comments. They're still asking him those questions.
Green Bay at home.
Green Bay's
Time
winning it.
in the winter.
Yeah.
Like,
Unlike
coming off a bye week.
unlike Buffalo at home, right? Which you would think they would be in their natural element with some weather like that. Aaron Rodgers is very good at football in Lambeau.
The home
like
field
to-
advantage is only a myth in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's the exception to the rule.
All right, last but not least.
Nothing, Sean? All right.
What?
Yeah, fair enough.
You didn't even
Okay.
make a pick, Sean.
You're beating the dead horse. I'm not gonna come on. All right.
You didn't ask us for
You
our
didn't even make a
picks?
pick. Make a pick.
I already did. I said the Packers.
No. In your head, maybe.
Ah, well, it's the Packers.
Okay.
All right, Monday night game. Rams Cardinals.
I love the matchup. I don't know how the Cardinals are still staying so successful because they've had some key injuries and problems there. Chase Edmonds, Kyler Murray's missing games. I
D-Hop's
couldn't-
missed some games.
Yeah, I couldn't even name you anybody on their defense. Weirdly enough, like everyone just seems to be doing their fucking job, so I'm not paying attention to it, right? Like you're just like, oh, Cardinals D's fine. But yeah, that's a great matchup. The Rams, they had a dip there for a period.
Yeah, they
Had a
got
dip.
they got a nice setup there to win that one game there last week. I mean, if you can't beat let me go back to who they played. They can't beat the Jaguars, you're in deep trouble. So yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
Sean, if you can't beat the Jaguars, you're in deep trouble.
I know.
Yeah.
Same with Buffalo. Yeah.
Man, it's almost like you're not going to win the AFC East.
Well, I think that's a given. I don't see how we go back into Foxborough and beat
Oh,
New
come
England.
on.
You
can't throw
them
that out.
head-to-head.
You know?
Come on.
You could make up a full game. I mean, you have to win, but
Throw a sack.
my Seahawks have a 1% chance of making the playoffs, and I'm 100% still in. You're like, meh, Buffalo, meh. You
No,
see
I'm
how
waiting.
good
I'm
the
waiting
Browns
for
are
the postseason.
playing?
Just make it to a wild card, and anything can happen. You know, you don't have to win the division. Who cares? Just make it just make it. Just make it.
Just make sure you don't talk all that shit if you do make, into a wild card situation. Because that's what you always do. You're like, oh, we're in it, boys. It's over. You're going to pay for this.
Oh, Doyle rules.
Yeah. And meanwhile, your station wagon hits a banana peel and peels off. The fucking cliff. Every time, without fail.
Oh my gosh, it's true.
I love
And you know
the- I
what?
love
As
the
long as
Rams.
I've
I
known
love
you,
the
Reid,
Rams.
it's so true. I mean, every time I think it,
Yeah.
and I think the worst was 2013, Game 7, Boston Bruins, Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh man, I was so
Dude.
drunk. I was drinking fucking something with the Aganorsa bitters in there or whatever the fuck it's called. Angostura bitters. Something with whiskey. I was hammered. It was fucking hilarious. I was eating my shirt. Brad,
That
I was
was so terrible.
at a place where an Amstel Light's about $12. I'm just like, just give me another one. The bartender's like, all right. Place was packed. Packed. Just fucking hammered. I was about to go outside and just throw up. Right? And then a beautiful man descended from the clouds named Patrice Bergeron. And I was just like, oh, it's going to be okay. We're going to make this game respectable. Oh, shit, they tied it up. Oh, my God, we won. Yeah, it was fucking great. That's what you get, you son of a bitch.
Second greatest Patrice in history.
Yeah, Patrice O'Neal's still the guy.
What?
Do you even know who Patrice O'Neal is?
What about Patrice?
Did he make it to Canada?
What about Patrice Roy? Huh?
First of all, it's Patrick.
Yeah, but that's because you guys anglophoned it. It was
First
Patrick
of all,
Roy.
Patrick Roy.
Yeah.
In Boston, we call him fucking Patty Roy, dude. All right? Yeah, he sells me loose cigarettes. Okay, outside the Dunkies on fucking Fifth.
All right, do we got 101 section here? 1-on-1.
Yep.
Brad.
Yep. Here's what I want to know. Would you rather hold the home run record, the most 3-pointers made, or the most touchdowns scored?
Let's go with home runs. Most home runs. I would go with that. Yeah. Reid?
So I'm thinking too much into this. I'm gonna go with most home runs because that's the least amount of impact on my body, and I'd have a pretty good retirement after that. You know what I mean? If I'm getting a lot of TDs, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? I'm like Jerome Bettis, looking all stupid. You know, I don't want to be in that situation.
You guys remember when Jerome Bettis was in Notre Dame and he got knocked out on the 2-yard line and still scored a touchdown unconscious?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
I don't
want that kind of heat.
No,
I want baseball player retirement. Right?
No, still water skiing at 50.
Oh yeah, having a blast. I own a couple of dealerships. My kids love me.
Yeah,
because I really didn't go anywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
you could pick them up when they were 2.
Yeah. Yeah. My knees aren't all fucking blown up. So I would take out of the free offered to me, basketball and NFL football are way more taxing on the body. To get to those numbers, that's a lot of I don't want that. I don't want baseball, it's a golf swing. Fuck you. I can do that till I'm 80. So
what about you, Brad? What about you?
I would want to have the touchdown scored, but Reid makes a compelling argument. I just think if you walk in the room and all 3 of those guys are in the same room, there's one guy that stands above the other 2. That's a touchdown.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, dude, don't get me wrong. If I'm in the same room as threes and touchdowns, I'm like, hey, honey, check it out.
Yeah. That guy scored the most touchdowns.
Can I go get his autograph? Would that be weird, right? You know, I'm a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. Let's see what happens.
Okay, kids. That'll do it for us. Reid, thanks as always for being here.
Pleasure to be
Sean,
here.
always good talking to you.
Same here, buddy.
You're out to lunch.
Hey, kids,
Sean.
be good at it.
Right out.
You've listened to the podcast, but now it's time to visit us in our virtual sports bar. Get all of our info at guysbeersports.com, where you can find all the ways to connect with us. Watch for live conversations with Brad and Sean that happen throughout the week, and join in with your favorite local beer. You can share your thoughts in the conversation comments with your own uploaded videos, or even join us as a guest live commentator. The GBS Virtual Sports Bar is open for business. Come on in, boys and girls.